In this strategy, we calculate how much money she has after traveling and use tables to figure out if she'll spend too much money during the 7 days of her basketball camp. We know first she gets $1,000 to spend. So we're going to subtract total money from travel costs and get the money left for camp. So $1,000 minus $335 is 5, and then we need to borrow a 10 and borrow 100 and borrow 1,000 so that we can get the appropriate numbers here, and we'll get $665. Similarly, for the train, we're going to subtract 1,000 minus 125, and we'll get 5, and then we'll borrow a 10, 100, and 1,000, and we'll get the answer of 875. And this is the money for 7 days. So we're going to make a table and compare the end result to the money for 7 days. So for the food and other expenses, we know it's going to cost $45 for each day. So let's list the 7 days and then write 45 for each of those days. For the individual instruction, it's $60 a day. So we have $60 each day. And then let's keep a running total for the total cost of camp. So we start with 105 and we end up finding out that it's $735 to use individual instruction plus the food expense. And that's less than the $875 she has left over if she travels by train, but more than the $665 if she travels by air. So she couldn't travel by air and take individual classes, but she could travel by train and take individual classes. Let's reuse this table, but do the same thing for taking the group classes. So when she's taking classes, not an individual instruction, it's $40 each day. The running total starts 85, 170, and ends up being $595. And $595 is less than both amounts she has left over. So she could take the train and have $875 left over, and then take group classes and still have money left over. Or she could travel by air, have $665 left over, spend $595 during the 7 days of her trip, and still not use all of her money. So there are 3 options that she could afford. She could travel by air and take group classes, or she could travel by train and take individual or group classes. So there are 3 correct options here.